front. They're always having conversations when they're drunk.
Can you look at the camera?
And we're back after Jacob's stupid fun with the Dr. Z show.
Everyone missed it. Anthony said something was shocking. But it me.
Alright, and Jacob wanted to play Alien Swarm, so that's what we're doing. So if you don't like it, bye.
Yep. We're playing some of the other missions. Because we've...
And we're going to critique them harshly.
Yep.
So, if they didn't do a good job making them, we'll find them.
I don't know what the metric.
Harass them verbally from afar. See if I remember how to play this stupid game.
Well,
Hey, that sounds familiar.
oh, weird. This is a weird place to start. Oh, we have to open this.
Why does this feel like it? Whoa, okay, never mind.
Oh.
I was gonna say, why does this feel exactly like the, maybe we should just, like, leave?
My gosh. They're still shooting.
I'm gonna say, why does this feel like exactly like the,
The end mission.
not the end mission, but just like the beginning mission again, just rehashed, except there's a dead guy here. Whoa, okay, hi. Oh, substance. Oh, so you can skip this whole area. Hacking. Just want to meet me. Did I really not take damage? Someone must have shot me.
Gotta hack.
Alright. Oh my gosh. This is bonkers. This is so full of hack. Gunfire is a little distracting.
That was... We're waiting.
What are we waiting for?
I think we're waiting. Oh, you
Oh, I gotta hack this computer too.
Yeah.
Why did I lose 65 ammo?
retrieve information from the computer. How did we
Yeah.
have this thing?
I don't know how I missed that. I
Oh, okay.
totally did that. Oh, well, that's useful. No. Don't get hit with those parasites.
Don't need this healing thing.
Oh, okay. Like one. I don't like how ammo packs don't give you extra, they don't give you extra grenades.
Oh,
no.
I got hit by everything.
Yeah, I'm like in the midst
At
of like,
once.
being bodied.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
That's insane. Oh, we failed.
Oh.
There's no live tech working. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Okay, so new plan. You need to just level up a bunch to unlock the flamethrower and just use that constantly.
I got the medical gun, so here we go.
Oh, that's good news.
Here we go again.
So maybe we should talk about something while we're playing this stupid game. Otherwise, it's just us playing this stupid game.
I mean, who doesn't love watching people just be
Be really terrible.
be really terrible and kind of blandly comment like, oh no, it's over.
Don't tell me you're gonna bring the medical gun and the healing beacons.
I am.
You're not.
I am not.
No, because I'm not gonna start the mission until you do. Bring a real weapon other than just the Horn of Orion. Are you? All right, we're gonna die again.
We'll do it. No, we'll do it. It'll be perfect. Sentry gun.
Why am I going along with this?
Very important that I get first. Oh, that's right. This is... Okay. Go. Uh-oh. Yeah.
Well, now I know that I need to get the information off the computer instead of just like open the bridge and be like, oh, why can't we go?
Gotta go. I can't kill them.
Yeah, because you didn't bring a gun like an idiot. So how are you going to protect me while I hack the panels?
Yes.
You're not. You're just going to heal me while I get beaten down. Waiting on you now.
Oh gosh! I'm running.
Use your Hornet Barrage. Thought that was like the move. Let me know. Can you not let me like get my things? I love how you have. Alright, there we go. Gotta watch it down. I like how the enemies though have already spawned on the other side of the bridge and they're like already waiting.
Oh, it's cool. I can see you hacking in the corner.
Yeah, it kills me that this is like 4 lines of hack for this like thing. Yeah, we're gonna wait for 7 minutes. Well, these guys are just terrible.
Alright, my sentry gun only has 50 ammo left in it, so next time I set it up, it'll probably be around that really crazy corner. Actually, no, I won't set it up. Set it up facing the... Not here.
Oh, right, those things do pop, don't they?
I'm gonna set it up around...
Oh, I've been parasited. Jacob. God damn it.
Geez.
Well, we fail.
I went ahead and set up...
So we gotta get rid of those, like, worm thing.
Yeah, because I punched them all down.
I forgot that they don't pop. Or that they pop, even if you don't hit them. Like, they just watch you walk by. They still hit you. Or they still pop up. Adrenaline. That sounds super useful. They market it as a weapon, too, which is bonkers.
Well then, because there's so much ammo, I am not taking the sentry gun this time.
Yeah, maybe you should bring a real gun. Ooh. Shocking. You should pick like the rail rifle or something. I swear. Does the oh that's good. Does the Tesla cannon load up at the like does it reload all your ammo at the ammo dump things?
The what? Tesla cannon?
The cannon? Yeah, it does. Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, this like really becomes like how you play this game is just like you run. Like you got to know the way to go and you just get there like as soon as possible. I'm getting faster at hacking like I used to be. Back in the old days.
Oh, you're already past there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, we got stuck behind a wave of enemies.
Oh, that's not good.
I didn't get hacking. Fending off the enemies.
Well, I'm the worst person that ever lived.
Because I can't use my eyes.
You can't use your eyes.
I can't use my eyes. They're busy.
I definitely trapped the entire squad on the other side of that door, though. Or the
Speaking
entire
of books,
living room.
though, I started reading a book called "Off to Be the Wizard," and it's about this guy who like finds out that reality is kind of like controlled by the Matrix, kind of deal, and he just hacks into it, gives himself like godlike powers.
He hacks into reality.
Yeah, it's great.
Wow, they can hit. Oh no, okay, that's bad. I was gonna say they
Wildcats
can hit you
out.
through the door. They can't. They were coming out of the walls. Where were the other Marines at? Anyway,
Wildcat's still alive, just like
just like hanging
sitting
out.
in that one corner, like, my KDA is gonna be so high.
Oh, speaking of KDA, I get the K80 personal defense weapons at level 11. Those things leak ammo.
All right. The shotgun, it only has
Bad.
4 rounds.
Oh,
So
before
you
you
just,
reload.
you just have to be good with the reload on it. But it's not too bad. Okay.
Look at Wildcat's kills.
Yeah.
111 kills.
After like 50 seconds, it's just like
Because that's the point where you died. So she was like, oh, I guess I better just hang out here.
yeah. There's no point in doing anything else.
You brought combat flares? Oh, no, you're connecting.
All right.
You're still going to stick with the pump action?
Yeah.
Well, not. You should have the,
Not really anything else, like, super worth it.
You don't get the flamer until level 13.
Yeah.
And you're level 10 now. So you gotta
The flamer's so good.
stick it out.
Okay.
For real this time.
As opposed to all the fake
All
times.
the other times that
Yeah,
weren't
all the
real.
other times that were not real. Oh. Okay. I will just stick next to you like crazy.
That's like probably a good idea, as you say, as you like run ahead.
Yeah.
So I guess you can skip this door if you have jump jets and clinically stupid. Making jump jets as your bonus
Yeah.
action. So, my D&D campaign is
I get the old sound of shooting.
hold on, what? I can't hear you. Gunfire. What is going on out there? Like,
Right.
I'm being hit. I'm being hit.
Oh, you're being hit by.
Okay, hold on. Turning the sound way down. Okay, I had to turn the sound way down to be able to hear you.
Yeah, because you're starting to talk about PG. Oh, did you get the panel?
Yeah, I got both the panels.
It didn't show up on my objective.
Oh, shit. Why is it green then? Okay, no, I didn't get this panel. Ah! I didn't get this panel. It's green, so I thought I got it already. Help me! No,
Oh,
come back!
Oh, wow.
Ouch! Why did we not weld the door shut? Should have welded that door shut.
That would have
That's
been
what we need to be doing.
this.
So anyway, so my D&D campaign is moving along. The party decided to pick a fight with some fire giants, and they did it in a really smart way, actually. So they had this deal. They had this deal with these Ents. The Ents were like, "Oh, these like guys are, these fire giants are like tormenting the forest, and like we don't like that. So please kill them." And the entire party was like, "Yeah, we can take on a whole village of fire giants. Sure, why not?" Instead of fighting 3 Ents. So they go to this village, and the fire giants are like have these like dwarves that are like slaves that are mining iron for them for some like unknown statue in the middle of their town. They're like building this like iron statue or whatever. And oh my god, what the heck? Ah, I've been parasited.
You gotta break this.
Okay. So they go to this town and they're like, "Oh, we should free these dwarves." So the monk's like job ability is that she's a brewmaster. So the party like gets this idea that they're gonna sell the cleric, one of the clerics who's a dwarf, to the fire giants as like a slave, and then they're gonna drink to like, you know, it's like, oh, we made a deal, so we're gonna drink to like celebrate this great, you know, bargain that we made. And then the monk uses poison that she has and poisons all the beer. And so I was like, oh, okay. And you can't make a constitution check if you sleep. So all the fire giants like automatically fail their constitution check. And I was like, okay, like willing to give them kind of the benefit of the doubt. And I was like, you know, roll for extra damage on the poison, right? Because they're asleep, like they fail the constitution check automatically, critical success. So our monk got, what was it, 5? Yeah, she got 30,000 experience. Because the fire giants are 5k experience each, and she dealt all of the damage to all 6 of them that were in the village.
Oh man.
So it comes to pass that like, so it's the middle of the night, like they're, you know, all the fire giants are dead, and the party doesn't know that yet. And so the dwarf that was like sold into slavery, they're like, oh, we better go like, you know, get him and like free all the slaves, because like that'll be a huge benefit. What they didn't know, or what I didn't know, is that they had given our dwarf cleric, who they sold into slavery, a lockpicking kit.
Okay.
To like free all the other slaves. The part that I did know was that they also gave a lockpicking kit to just like one of the random like dwarf slaves, random.
Okay.
And so I was like rolling a bunch of dice while this was going on to like try to, figure out what would happen. And so the cleric that had given out the lockpicking kit was like getting really nervous because I was like rolling a bunch of dice and I was like, all right, this happens, like making notes, like, okay, this happens, like make notes. Turns out they got really unlucky on the rolls, and the cleric or the dwarf that they had given the lockpicking kit to, the NPC dwarf, was actually the boss of the area, who was an Oni.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
Onis are shapeshifters. And so they end up fighting this Oni, and they're like, they're doing really well, but the Oni like keeps getting stronger and stronger, and they're like, oh, we don't know what to do, like, we gotta keep the pressure on and like keep fighting it. And so they set it on fire, and then they like gets into a fight with the Dragonborn, and like doesn't do any damage. The Dragonborn does like a ton of damage to it, and so the Oni like jumps in the fountain that's in the middle of town near where they're building the statue, and so he's like not on fire. And so he flies up into the air, right? Because Oni can fly. It's like one of their abilities. And Ian, who's our Eldritch Knight, was like, oh, like we don't, like we can't hit him, like only like the halfling can hit him because she's the only one with a ranged weapon. And he like made a joke to the dwarf cleric who's sitting next to him. He was like, too bad we don't have kunai with chain. And the monk was like, wait a second. And I was like, oh no, what happened? So the monk found out that one of her abilities is to make like makeshift weapons. She can like make a weapon out of anything. And so she gets a rope and her sickle that she has as her weapon, and like makes a weapon out of it. And it doesn't do very much damage. It does 1d6 damage. But she critical success hit, critical success damage, and then I critically failed the dexterity save to not get like stunned. So when you're stunned, you can't fly. So then I had to roll for damage upon hitting the ground from 30 feet in the air, and I critically failed that. So I was within 6 hit points of my boss character for the entire area killing himself. So now they've decided like that the monk is the move. I gotta hack
Oh, he's the moon.
the move. Because the monk just keeps getting these like ridiculously good rolls. Oh, we gotta go upstairs.
Oh, we're done.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to go up there.
This one's actually a hack. But yeah, our Eldritch Knight was all over it. Kunai with chain.
That's awesome.
Just from Yu-Gi-Oh, I believe, is the reference.
Yes.
No power. Ow! Rude.
Okay, so in my D&D campaign, they went into the Underdark, and I was gonna have it be like
Sewer level.
a tame encounter. Like I wasn't really planning on having to fight anything in the Underdark. But then our bard told the Priestess of Lolth that the party was there to kill all of them, and so they got so they got taken. They got taken hostage, and they're like, "Okay, we'll kill you at dawn." And I wasn't planning on that, but like, I had told them that they were suspicious of them, and the bard was just like, "Oh, it'd be a real good idea, just
Wildcats infested.
convincing everyone that like super dangerous."
We're there to kill them.
Yeah, which they weren't. They were just passing through for like another thing. Wait, where are we?
How does one pass through the Underdark? Like you just
They
like, oh
they
yeah, whatever.
they were
Like,
on the edge of it. They weren't planned. It wasn't the plan for them to go through there. Wait, how do we?
also, why is there always a sewer level? I wanted to talk about this on the show in one of the episodes, but there was never like a good time to bring it up.
Oh,
Every
we have to
game
get.
has a sewer level. Slow motion. Bad things.
Oh, shield bug.
One of those shotgun ammo things here. Oh man, we really need the flamer.
Guys, ignore the shield bugs. We don't have time for this.
Yes, speak to the artificial intelligence. I'm sure they will listen to you. Oh, great.
I mean, glad you agree. Shoot, I don't have any more ammo.
You don't have any more ammo? Oh, because you have the
Nope.
KDRs.
Yep.
Or,
Yeah,
not
so
that. You know what I mean.
weird way to end the session.
Ammo in the kit there. There's also a sentry gun here if you want to be an idiot again. Oh my gosh, this is bonkers. I got really lucky with that hack there. No, I do not want to read the corporate mail.
Where are we going?
We gotta go back the way we came.
Yeah, so they might
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me.
die earlier. Oh, this is fun. Huh. Wait 1 second.
This is impossible. Another one. There's 3. Alright. Get the hell out of here.
Yep.
I'm about to switch to the pistols. I'm about out of ammo. Ah, dual wield. It's interesting that I just unlocked these because Stranglehold just came on Great Old Games Galaxy today, which is like a really fun game. It's the Max Payne 3 we needed, not the one we deserved. It has Chow Yun-Fat doing motion capture for it, which was fantastic because he's great. Oh my gosh! Problem.
You're doing
Do you have
less
the rockets? Do you have the rockets? Do you have the rockets?
No. I use them all.
Yeah, so Stranglehold, like, if you know how the Max Payne games work, Stranglehold is that, but better. It's like a Chinese cop story. Okay, I need to hack this panel. Getting lucky with some of these hacks. Wildcat, you're trash. Go, time to go, time to go, time to go.
Oh, cool.
That was weird. I was like, why can't I move? Why can't I move? Invisible walls.
Invisible walls.
Gotcha.
Woo!
Check on the time
That's
here.
sensitive.
We're only at 30 minutes. Is this gonna be a bonus bits episode, or should this be an actual Dr. Z episode?
I mean, it's long enough to be a real episode, but we don't.
Should be an extra. It should be a bonus episode because our next episode is gonna be it's gonna be books.
Yep. Books.
Part 2, which Do you have time this weekend?
Maybe.
We have time Sunday. Saturday we don't have time because the Ohio State Michigan game is Saturday at noon, and then we're volunteering with the Jive Aces at Glen Echo.
I might have time on Sunday. Abby's family's coming down from Washington, so.
Woof. Based on your squad's impressive performance, the IAF recommends graduating to a harder difficulty level. More experience will be awarded in each mission debriefing. Increase difficulty level from normal to hard. Your chuckling says yes. My knowledge of what shenanigans you're going to do says no.
My chuckling is like yes and no. It's like, yeah, we barely made it through. Like, it's like,
well, to be fair, the other Marines didn't die until what? Ooh, dinner time. The other Marines didn't die until the very end, and only one of them died.
Yeah, and I mean they are.
To be unfair, that last mission was bonkers. The 3 shield bugs in a little narrow passageway. I'm gonna go with no.
Also, do you think that this is like?
I don't think anything. I do not think things.
Do you think it's like a Clone Wars or Clone Troopers kind of thing where they just send a copy of because Wildcat died last mission, but she's on the next mission. So like.
Why are you worried about the continuity of Alien Swarm characters?
I just think it's interesting to think about.
Because if they're... Well, okay, so if they're like... We gotta stop playing also, by the way, because I gotta eat dinner.
Bummer. Okay.
We can play more later. We'll just have to remember that we're on power plant generator mission.
Okay.
I think. So... I stopped the screen share. So
yeah.
If you think about it like in the Clone Wars kind of way, then these guys are the ARC troopers. You watched the miniseries, right?
Yeah, but it was a long time ago, and I don't know if I watched it. Like
the ARC troopers are the guys they sent into the city to capture the giant cannon. And they're also the guys they sent after Shaak Ti and Kidai when they were fighting General Grievous, and General Grievous was like fucking their shit up. Yeah, so the ARC troopers are the guys that have the gunship with the teeth on it, and they're all awesome. And then they were so cool though in the miniseries that they had like the Legends canon started writing books about them. And so there's like a whole trilogy of books about them, and then there's a bunch of other books about them. But the only reason that they were allowed to be written into the miniseries, and they became canon in Legends before Disney fucked everything up, was because of the Clone Commando game. The Clone Commando game follows their actual origins.
Okay.
So the miniseries guys and the Clone Commando game guys are like kind of the same guys, but not really. It's more thought of that the Clone Commando is like a separate continuity, and then it follows the books that take place after that game. And some of the books take place like during the game, since it's not open-ended. It's like it's contained. I know way too much about the Star Wars Legends canon, especially like being able to speak Mandalorian.
Yeah. Right.
Fantastic.
There's a really funny thing where it showed an interview with like one of the directors or something, and they were talking about episode, I think either episode 7 or 8, and they're like, yeah, it's really hard because there's just like no material to draw off of.
Oh my god, do not get me started. I read about that bullshit, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? The amount of times I've been right about what Disney has done is ridiculous. Because remember, you have to remember this. When we found out that Disney was buying LucasArts and they were going to take over Star Wars and they were going to write new shit, I said, they're going to throw all the canon out the window and then they're going to get stuck. They're going to get stuck because they don't know what to write. And guess fuck what? They're stuck now because they don't know what to write.
Yeah.
So
I do remember that.
Fucking amazing. But everything else is, oh, it's infuriating. It's so infuriating. Like, you had so much material to draw from. I'm like getting warm. I'm like so heated about this. Like, you have so much material to draw from, and you go out the fucking window. Get it.
Makes sense.
Ah! Soapbox over.
Yep. On like a completely unrelated note, did you ever see the show? Did you ever see the show Symbionic Titan? It was really good, but it only had one season, and that makes me sad. Because it was on like late night Cartoon Network. It might have even been Toonami. I don't know. I think it might have been Toonami, but the animation was really good.
I showed last time on Toonami because it was Cartoon Network and it was on too late.
Toonami was so good. I forgot. The guy who voices
We're talking about one season shows that ended too soon. Cowboy Bebop. It's a fucking great show. That show.
I still need to finish.
What?
I watched like the first 6 episodes.
What? How have we been friends this long and you've never watched all of Cowboy Bebop?
How have I been in my family this long and never watched?
Yeah, that's true too. I'll like let you get away with like still being friends with me and not watching all of Gundam because that's redonkulous. Like that's a lot. But like you've not seen all of Cowboy Bebop. It's only like 20 episodes, isn't it?
The best part is I own it.
Episodes. You own it?
Yeah.
And you haven't seen all of it? Like you specifically own it, or like your family owns it?
No, I own it. I own the series.
How have I not known this?
I mean, it's the same. I own all of Invader Zim, and I haven't watched every episode.
That's different, though. Kind of. Yeah, no, that's different because Cowboy Bebop is better. Don't get me wrong, I like Invader Zim, but Cowboy Bebop, Invader Zim, it's like comparing Sean Connery to Pierce Brosnan. It's like a different level.
What about so in the world of multimedia, what is the media equivalent now of I can picture his face, but I can't. The most recent Bond. I can't remember his name. Daniel Craig. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Daniel Craig. My mouth was full.
Okay, so if Pierce Brosnan is Invader Zim and Sean Connery is Cowboy
Brosnan was Invader Zim. I was just saying that was like the comparison.
No, I want to continue this.
Okay, if Pierce Brosnan's no, Pierce Brosnan can't be Invader Zim because then Timothy Dalton has to be something like I don't know, garbage.
Ren and Stimpy.
Okay, Roger Moore is Invader Zim because Pierce Brosnan is Samurai Jack.
Wait, I'm gonna write this down on our on the Facebook page.
Okay, Pierce Brosnan is Invader Zim. Roger Moore is Samurai. No, sorry. Invader Zim is Roger Moore. Pierce Brosnan is Samurai Jack. Daniel Craig is like Daniel Craig is Avatar. And Sean Connery is Cowboy Bebop.
Like Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yeah. So George Lazenby would be Ren and Stimpy. And Timothy
Lazenby?
Yeah, Lazenby. He played Bond in one movie. and he's widely considered to be the worst Bond, but he played Bond in one of the best movies, which was On Her Majesty's Secret Service, by the way. I know too much about James Bond, also.
It's coming in handy right now.
So Timothy Dalton, what's like a mediocre anime?
Okay, wait.
Like it's okay, but it's like it's mediocre at best. But like you would still watch it.
I have to think. I mean, I might get crap for this. I probably will.
And here's my reasoning for it. Because Timothy Dalton was really garbage in The Living Daylights, but he was really good in License to Kill, and he was only in those two movies.
I'll say Sword Art Online.
You're gonna get so much shit for that.
Because so the thing is, it's not a, it's real, like the first season is really good, and from there on out there are parts of it that are still pretty good, but like nothing compares to the first season. Like the first season is just like so good, like as a contained narrative. So but there's parts of it that make it like later on it becomes a bit more like a lot of the other animes that are in that genre of it's called like isekai, where you have normal people who get put into like, and it's a version of isekai because they're doing it in virtual reality, but it's still like normal people,
so like,
where there's power.
Persona.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I never knew that like term existed. I knew that was like a kind of anime. But...
I only know about it because I started watching this YouTuber called Nuxtaku, and he the way that he discusses videos is really crazy. But he brings up a lot of good points, and it helped me learn about different genres of anime. Because like I've known about like rom-coms and like kind of action adventure kind of stuff, but I didn't know about like other genre breakdowns from there.
Going like way back to what we were talking about before, not that the Bond anime comparison was super useful, but going like way back to what we were talking about before, the only reason Gundam Wing is like really fresh in my mind right now is because it's amazing, but also because I don't remember what the context was, but my wife and I were out somewhere, and something happened that was like really like normal or whatever, and she had like a really strong reaction about it, and I like whispered and I was like, I'll kill you. And she laughed, and I was like, well, I was concerned because she's never seen Gundam Wing, so I was like, did you remember that I told you about that like a long time ago? Like, did you get the joke? Like, not that I'm like talking down to her, but I was like, I wasn't sure that she understood what I was talking about. And she was like, oh, like, it's funny because, like, that's such an extreme, like, thing that you would never do or say. And I was like, no, you don't understand.
It's a quote.
You're missing the joke. Like, it's the quote. And she was like, what? And so I told her the story again about Gundam Wing and the really, like, nuts reaction. And she was like, what is anime? Like, she got really confused. She was like, what? Why would that happen? And so then I ended up talking about Gundam Wing for like an hour and a half.
I need to finish.
So I was just like, oh yeah.
I'm like 30 or so episodes in Gundam Wing.
Speaking of anime, though, how have we gone this long and not talked about Zoids is coming back? What the?
Yeah.
Zoids, the Zoids anime.
I mean, it's an anime that's coming back. They're not just making another game.
Yeah, they're bringing back the show, and a game is supposed to coincide with the show.
Yeah, I love the one for GameCube. I really enjoyed.
I don't remember playing any of the Zoids games. I just remember watching the show in its super early stages and reading the first couple issues of the manga and like never seeing the Zoids. And then I caught one of the shows like way later and like suddenly like they were everywhere. Yeah. suddenly they were everywhere, and like they were just like, everyone was fighting with them, and they were like inside them, and I was like, was this Power Rangers? I like didn't watch it anymore. You were like really into Zoids like when it was coming out, right?
The hard part for me was that I could really only watch it at my grandparents' house, and so like my understanding of the entire plot is like really jacked up because we didn't have cable for the longest time, and only my grandparents did. And so that's how it was introduced to me, because like my grandma would wake up at 6 a.m. and it would be, like at like from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. they would actually show like anime on Cartoon Network as well.
Right, 'cause still like it wasn't Adult Swim. I think Toonami was on until like 3, and then it was like infomercials for an hour, and then it was like Toonami was on again.
Yeah, so they had like Dragon Ball Z. I saw an episode of Dragon Ball Z that way, and Zoids, a few episodes. And then we finally did get cable, and I was able to watch a little more regularly towards the end of like I don't know, some season. I don't remember the character names. I just remember there was like the main dude and girl, and the girl had some kind of crazy power, and they were going to some cave to like unlock some ancient secret or technology or whatever. And then they were also fighting this giant Zoid that had this really crazy shield. Yeah, they were fighting this giant Zoid that had this shield that no one could get through. And it was just this like terror that was like destroying everything in its path. And so they set up these 3 like sniper. Oh, what?
I'm gonna pause you for a real second. This sounds like the most generic anime shit ever.
Oh, it's awesome.
Continue.
Okay, so it has this giant shield like around it the whole time, so you can't get in. And then when you actually do get close enough to fight it, it like kills you. So they had this whole offensive planned against it, and they set up these 3 sniper Velociraptor robots, because all of the Zoids were like animals. So
as one does.
Yeah, so they would shoot the sniper bullets out of their tails. So like they would like set up like position, and then the barrel of the sniper rifle was their tail. And admittedly, those were the best Zoid to use in the game for the GameCube, because they did so much damage and it was ridiculous. So you didn't have to have these like long drawn out fights. You could just be like snipe.
So were their tails all just like?
Yeah, they were super straight. Like they would kind of like plank down like the front of the Velociraptor would plank down like a turret to stabilize it. So they shot 3 bullets into the force field, like one right after the other. And so they managed to pierce through, because they like the first bullet lodged into it, and then the second one like pushed the other one further in, and then the third one like broke through, and it managed to shatter it just long enough for them to send in like the guy with Liger Zero, the main character, who's like real cool. So he managed to get in. And
did he die?
No. But Zoid.
About anyone that gets close enough dies. Also, I really hope the FBI agent that watches each of us is like really into anime, because otherwise he's fallen asleep by now.
Quick, while he's asleep, we can say bad things about him behind his back.
It's probably fat.
Speaking, I mean,
this is his own, which is the worst way.
I don't know if this is a nerd topic or if it's like a political.
We're talking about it on the show. It's a nerd topic now. It's been decided.
Kappa?
Whatever it is, it's a nerd topic.
Have you heard about Kappa?
Kappa, like you'll never take me alive, Kappa.
No. Well, I mean that's probably what YouTubers are saying. It's apparently this new law that is making it so that YouTube can determine if content is directed at children, and it allows.
That I upload the videos every week, so yeah. They're like emailing me. They're like, "Oh, make sure this isn't children directed."
Yeah.
And like the amount of times I say "fuck" versus how many kids are watching our channel randomly, like, can kind of like determine that it's not for children.
Yeah.
By the way, I say "fuck" a lot. Like, this is probably too much. Oh, speaking of this is related, I promise, but I'm not going to bother explaining my thought process because the 1-year anniversary of the show was Saturday.
Woo!
Came with my Facebook memories, and I was like, "Holy shit, we've been doing this for a year."
I forgot. I mean, I saw your
So
post.
stuck with us
I
this
saw
long.
your post
Great.
about it, but
Otherwise, you suck.
I didn't get flowers. I didn't plan a special dinner or anything for the anniversary.
You're tearing me apart.
You're tearing this family. Oh, okay. Speaking of tearing families apart,
I'm sorry. What the fuck?
okay, so
What?
I've been watching JonTron, and he covered. It's tearing our family apart. No, he covers this game called Takashi's Challenge. If you've ever heard of it.
No.
Okay, so Takashi's Challenge was
Keep
this
in mind,
game.
I've heard of like 5 things that you just like find randomly on YouTube. I've heard of like 5 things, maybe 6.
Okay, so Takashi's Challenge is this game that was developed in like late 80s, early 90s for the Famicom, and it was
So for
designed. There was this famous like Japanese director named
like director of movies.
yeah, his name is I don't know if this is his nickname or his actual name, but his name is Beat Takashi, like BEAT.
Oh, okay, not BEET, like
Yeah.
like the vegetable. Okay.
Yeah.
Beat. He's the main character of Jet Set Radio.
Yes,
This guy, Beat Takashi, he's the main character.
I am planning on. I still need to cosplay as Beat at some point, but I need to get good on rollerblades first.
Although your Headless One cosplay is. Oof.
Thanks. Okay, so Takashi's Challenge. The plot is basically and he got like really into the development of the game. So it wasn't just that like they wanted to use him as a main character. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna help develop it too." So he like went super hard into the
Weird flex, but okay.
yeah, he went super hard into the art direction of the game, and it's about like you're basically playing as him, I guess, as a Japanese salaryman, and the game starts with you being yelled at by your boss, who's like, "Yeah, sales are down this quarter, so like you're doing a bad job, and so your bonus isn't going to be that big this year, and everything," and so you can choose to either just like walk away from that, or you can start beating up your boss, or like there's just there's lots of different options. But the other thing is when you finally get home.
How is this related?
Okay, when you finally get home, your wife is like beating you with a broom, and because she's like, you're drunk again, and so you can either choose to like, there's like a bunch of like other options, like play with the kids or whatever, but then one of them is just like get a divorce. And if you get a divorce, this is like a game in the like late 80s. If you get a divorce
For the Famicom.
for the Famicom, produced by Nintendo, and you can choose to either pay alimony or punch her.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Takashi's Challenge. It's ridiculous. Actual game by Nintendo.
Why do I feel like this guy just like made a self-insert fan fiction game, but it was actually his life?
Yeah, and you can pay to either you can pay to learn like different sports, but it's a game where there's no direction. You just kind of have to. It's really hard because you always, whenever you die, you have to start at the very beginning, and you.
Wow! No way.
Yeah, it's like a choose your own adventure kind of thing. So and there's only one set of things that is correct. So like you have to get shamisen lessons so that you can go to karaoke and play the shamisen, and you have to divorce your wife first because she takes like 75% of your money in alimony. But it's only your current.
5%?
Yeah. So of your current money. So
When does she get divorced?
okay. So then you have to like go back to your work and pick up and you have to make sure that you don't quit your job so that you can still pick up the like the bonus that you get. So that you can pay for shamisen lessons, and also so that you can pay for hang glider lessons because you need to be able to use a hang glider later. You also like you can pick up a gun later. You have to beat up a bunch of yakuza who are just like roaming the streets.
What?
Yeah, it's it's bonkers. Takashi's Challenge.
What the fuck is this game?
Yep.
For the Famicom, like you're sure it's for Famicom?
Yes. Let me just.
Which is Nintendo, in case you're wondering. Like the NES is Famicom. It's the same thing. Why is the name like that though?
Okay, Takashi's. It's officially translated as the Ultimate Challenge from Beat Takashi.
Okay.
Yeah, platform Famicom. It's also on iOS and Android.
Fucking shit me. How's Takashi spelled?
Takeshi.
Okay, so it's phonetic. I'm gonna look this shit up right now. Is his last name Okihara?
Maybe. No, his name is Takashi Kitano. Also known as Beat Takashi. Oh, the other crazy thing is it was released in Japan on December 10th, 1986. The other thing is so I'm just like stealing straight from JonTron. Sorry.
Do it.
But he said in his video.
Can't find it on iOS.
Okay, maybe it was available, and it's not anymore. But anyways, he released like two commercials for the game, and in the commercials he left clues about how to beat it because it has such a specific sequence of events that you have to go through. It was re-released on the Wii Virtual Console on March 31st, 2009. The iOS and Android version titled Chosenjo from Beat Takashi was released in Japan on August
Only in Japan.
17th.
Probably because it's bonkers.
Yeah.
We're like, should we release it in America? Nah, Americans can't figure this shit out. They play Call of Duty. They don't have patience. No lie though, I was at GameStop the other day when I was picking up my copy of Sword and Shield. And this guy behind me in line was talking to this guy that was behind him in line. And he was like, yo, like, you here to get Pokemon? And the guy was like, nah, like, I can't keep playing Pokemon, like, it's the same game, like, you know, they're just, like, adding some stuff and taking some stuff out. And I was like, oh, what are you here to get? And he was like, oh, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And I was like, why are you like this? Real talk, though, that's, like, people that are like that are, like, they should be euthanized.
Turn into youth.
Youth in Asia. Development crisis.
Oh, I was
Also,
thinking,
not to get political, but speaking of euthanasia, it's fucking awesome that the Hong Kong protesters are using medieval technology to fight the police. Anyway.
yeah, like.
Did you not know that?
Yeah, I saw
Oh,
the
no.
reports about like the bow and arrows and stuff.
And they built trebuchets on the college campuses where the cops can't get to them, and are like launching shit into the police. That's some Age of Empires shit right there.
Bronze Age.
Excellent.
They got out of the Stone Age.
I was thinking Age of Empires 2, but sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were gonna say.
I was gonna say words. I built like a scout camp. We won a trebuchet contest. And the best part of it was ours was like really dinky. Like the knots that we had on it and everything to like keep it all together were just very bad because every time we shot, like we had to like repair it before we did the next thing. And then when we finally like launched it and it went the furthest and we won, like as it launched, the entire thing collapsed.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You only get one shot.
I was going to say something else, but I've forgotten entirely.
Did it have to do with Takashi's challenge? Or beat?
Nope.
That lizard head still freaks me out a little bit. People like looking behind you and being like, "Do you have a crocodile in your apartment?" And then I remember that you don't actually live in Florida.
Nope. Yeah.
Which, if you lived in Florida, I would be like, "All right, there's a crocodile in your apartment."
Ash.
Typical Florida.
That's how Florida do. If you're in Florida, that's what happens.
Okay. That's what you read about happening, but is that what actually happens?
Oh, also fun fact.
Is it
Apparently
actually fun?
this is a fun fact. So
Okay.
apparently the reason that the whole like Florida man is a thing is because their laws are like looser around like releasing local news or something like that, and like police reports. So that's why. So it's like it's not that Florida is inherently more crazy than other states. It's just that the knowledge of the crazy is more free to the public.
Florida man writes laws that allow other papers to talk about Florida man. I don't know. I was trying to think of a good Florida man headline for that. What did you come up with for the Florida man challenge?
I
I feel like we did this on the show, but I don't remember that we actually did.
I
Remember,
didn't
it
because
was- it was like the first or second. It was like the first or second time we had Brenna on the show.
this is the first time.
Hi, Brenna. And she was like, "Oh, did you guys do the Florida Man challenge?" I don't think it was on the show. I think we talked about it either before or after. And it was
It might
like you type in Florida Man and then your birth date, just like the date, not like the year.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And you're like, what did Florida Man do on your birthday? Mine was Florida Man does a bunch of cocaine.
Is
It
it?
was like an actual amount. It didn't say a bunch of cocaine. It was like
Is
an
it
actual amount of
year?
cocaine.
Is it the?
No, you don't type year.
Okay.
Florida wasn't that exciting in the early 90s. That was secret backstory DLC information.
Okay. Okay, so this is from 2 years ago on my birthday. Florida man allegedly stabs alligator to death, tries to sell the meat.
That's pretty good.
Which is
I'm gonna see if I have a better one.
I'm okay with that. Because
Stabbing an alligator to death or selling the alligator meat?
because I had alligator once, in Southern Virginia.
We talked
Yeah.
about this, I think, recently.
Yeah, and it was delicious. And I'm just so mad that I haven't had a chance to eat alligator again.
Okay. So, Florida man caught on video abusing alligator. Authorities say they've arrested a 19-year-old Florida man after finding videos of him hitting a young alligator and placing a cigarette in its mouth. As one does.
Match.
And then the second one is a thong-wearing Florida man arrested while building shed with garbage on stranger's property.
What? Oh my gosh.
It doesn't say if he was under the influence of drugs.
This.
I hope that he was, but it does not say.
So unfortunately, going back to domestic abuse, which is like most vocally condemned.
I was like,
since we're
what?
talking about it, no, okay, look. So on my birthday,
Don't
last year, so not 2 years ago,
do it, or we'll domestically abuse you.
it's a Florida man who has the phrase "family over everything" tattooed across his chest. Threw his pregnant girlfriend to the ground because he believed the victim was talking to another man, police say.
Chaotic good?
No, that's evil. You don't throw a pregnant woman to the ground.
Yeah, but like his moral code, like no, okay. First of all, let's make it like 100% clear that I completely agree with you that that's horrible. But like his moral code could have been like, oh, I have to do this now because this other man is infringing on my. I don't know. I was gonna try to play devil's advocate for that, but I cannot even come up with a fake scenario in which that would work.
Yep.
Now I'm thinking about it too hard. Like now it's gonna be like. Also, side note: fuck daylight savings time because it feels like it's the middle of the night and it's only 7:30. Here, it feels like midnight right now.
Yeah, this guy has been arrested on like a bunch of other occasions too.
Maybe wait, where is his tattoo?
On his chest.
Oh, okay. Is it like upside down so he can read it? 'Cause
Maybe
maybe he got it tattooed to remind himself. Like,
but now he can't read it because like he would have to have it because every time he looks in the mirror, he's like, "What are those words?" And it's not upside down.
Backwards.
Yeah, you'd have to get it tattooed backwards so you could see it.
He had it tattooed on himself so he could remember. That's like up there in like top 10 terrible tattoo ideas. Like tattoo something on yourself so you remember it later. It's like I never understood like why people get like their like parents like the day that like someone died like tattooed on your body. Like why? Like I don't what?
I found a better. I don't know if is this. I can't tell.
I'm just gonna be looking at Florida Man articles for the next like 4 hours.
It seems like this might not be a Florida Man thing, but this is the best one out of. It had like 5 things. It was like 5 things you need to know that happened on July 25th, 2018. It said, accused killer grandma had weapons and drugs when captured. The state attorney's office.
That can't be a Florida Man thing because a grandmother is a woman.
Don't assume her gender.
The word man is in woman. It counts.
Whoa, man.
Whoa. The state attorney's office released photos of detectives found an accused killer Lois Reese's motel room when she was captured in Texas.
She's in a motel room?
Reese is accused of murdering her husband in Minnesota in May and a woman on Fort Myers Beach in
She
June.
made it to Texas?
Yeah. She went.
Wow.
She killed her husband in Minnesota, and then she went to Fort Myers in Florida and killed a woman, and then she went to Texas.
She got really far on 2 murders.
She had bags full of bullets, duct tape, and guns, as well as a tin that had baggies of marijuana inside along with a pipe. Okay, I have to stop. Otherwise, I'll just keep going down the rabbit hole. Is this
Reminds me
still
of
this episode?
that, reminds me of that story of like the old woman who like got
The shoe.
and not right.
Her sordid past.
Because she did so many drugs, she had to live in a shoe. No, but I don't know if it's like a fake story or just like something funny that somebody made up to put on the internet. But it's like this woman who gets stopped by a police officer, and the police officer like runs her license plate or whatever, and says that like she's allowed to carry a weapon, because like that's something that happens. And the police officer like comes up to the car and is like, "Ma'am, like, you know, do you have any weapons on you?" And she says, "Yeah, like there's a gun in my purse or whatever." And it's like a handgun or whatever. And he's like, "Okay, like, are there any other weapons?" And she's like, "Yeah, there's a shotgun in the trunk of the car." And he's like, "Okay, are there any other weapons?" She's like, "Yeah, there's like another like revolver in the glove compartment." And he's like, "Okay, are there any other weapons?" She's like, "Yeah, like there's a handgun strapped to my leg." And this guy's like, "What are you afraid of?" And she's like, "Nothing." Which is fair. Like, sure,
Great.
if you're covered in weapons, like, yeah, I wouldn't be afraid of anything either.
Nothing.
I want that story to be true, but I feel like it's something that somebody made up to be funny. You're playing that game again, aren't you?
I am. The server reset, so I can get all of the once daily rewards.
Why are you like this?
Yep.
This is like Avalon something? Like,
Yeah. King of Avalon.
it's a gacha game, or is this like a mobile game?
It's like a mobile. I describe it as like
It's like a Clash of Clans kind of game.
yeah. So I describe it as a real-time strategy light, because like you have.
Why do you hurt me in this way?
Well, because it's like it has the sense of progression in terms of like gathering resources and everything to upgrade stuff, and like, but
You're missing a key component of a real-time strategy game.
which would be what?
A mouse.
I have fingers.
It's not a mouse. It's different. Fingers are not mice. Biology facts.
My fingers are mice.
That would be terrifying.
Weird 911 calls.
Alright, well, this went in a weird direction.
It's all my fault.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but
it's though.
I describe it as like the reason why I call it like real-time strategy light is that you are still you're still like interacting with other things like in real time, but there's like a limit in that you can't, like, once you send your units to go do something, they're like locked into that trajectory, and so like that's. So you have to like wait for the time for them to like go there and come back for things, instead of like in StarCraft or Age of Empires, like you can send people somewhere, and then when they're in the middle of doing that, you can be like, okay, I want you to go here now, and then like reselect the units and like move them. So it's just like a really, really slow real-time strategy. Because I think it basically has all the same similar elements.
Okay.
What is it like? What? Because I think we were talking about having an episode about mobile gaming.
We talked
But-
about gacha games on an episode.
But we didn't talk about like categories of mobile games. Like, we know that basically all mobile.
Terrible, super terrible, mega terrible. Those are the categories.
What about Dead Cells? Or Shovel Knight? Or Mega Man X?
As mobile games?
Well, I mean, they're available on mobile platforms.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought you said mobile games. My first thought is like mobile phone, so like games only available on the phone. And you said Dead Cells, which like just came out on iOS, so I was like, okay. And then you said Shovel Knight, and I was like, what?
And things.
Then you said Mega Man, and I was like, mobile games.
Anyways, I mean, that would be a discussion for another day. Because I don't know, like, because if Clash of Clans was the first game, there's a lot of games that are similar to Clash of Clans. So like, are all of them now just clan clones, or is
Sound
it
it out.
a type of? I'm hooked on Pahonix.
Oh God, that's terrible.
It's a joke from a comedian named Brian Regan. He's like, hook it on Pahonix, working for me.
Is that where emphasis on the wrong syllable came from?
It came from my mom.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yep.
I definitely thought for a really long time that she made up the story about the pants.
Oh, with the pale green pants was known
Yeah.
inside. Well, I mean,
I definitely thought for a long time that she made it up though.
Yeah.
That like
Dr. Seuss.
yeah. I mean it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense that Dr. Seuss would write something like that because that man was probably on a lot of drugs. Like a considerable
And
amount of
she was
drugs.
against inequality.
Was it really?
Yeah. Well, like the Starbellied Sneeches is about racism.
Oh, that's true. And it's one about the turtle. That one's about Hitler.
Oh, really? Wow.
The turtle. What's the turtle one called?
Should
What's
be
it called?
Yertle. Yertle the turtle. Oh wait, why?
Yeah, and the one about the buttered toast is about the Cold War.
Okay, yeah.
And the Berlin Wall.
What does Yertle the turtle represent? Hitler.
Was that right? It is Yertle the
Yeah.
turtle.
Yep.
It's about Hitler. Yeah.
Yertle's dictatorial rule of the pond and takeover of the surrounding area parallel to Hitler's regime in Germany and invasion of various parts of Europe.
Teacher, I don't need this little Polish boy's desk as well.
Everybody gets one desk, little Hitler.
The problem is that like, and that's like fresh in my mind right now because little Hitler comes up so often in my D&D group, like so often. It's
Hitler
like
or little Hitler?
Little Hitler, just little Hitler. Like it's a little bit worrying, but only three of us know about it. Like only. Shut the fuck up, Jacob. Only the Dark Paladin, the Dwarf Cleric, and I know what little Hitler is. So we'll start this like little chain of
Quoting.
quoting it, and everyone else will be like, "Fuck are they talking about?" But it's happened so often now that they're like, "Oh, they're doing it again." The
Not
thing.
my problem. Now it's my problem.
Which honestly, actually, now that I say that, I feel like that's people's reaction to us doing things. It's
And-
like, oh, they're doing the thing again. That's definitely my wife's reaction to a lot of what happens.
Just accept it. Yeah, I there are plenty of people who've been around us who like just eventually give up. They're like, well, I don't know what they're talking about.
We're not even gonna try.
I'll wait
So-
for them to finish.
So, leaving question today on the weirdest bits episode ever. Which honestly, this should be a real episode of the Dr. Z show at this point because we just like talked about a bunch of shit and it was all nerd shit. And then Hitler, which is a nerd topic.
I mean, there's plenty of World War II games, so
Connections. You just flash your papers. On that note, we will
the
leave.
suspicious.
We will leave this episode of the Dr. Z Show with a question. If you've been around Jacob and I, or if you've watched the show for a long time and not been around either of us at the same time, other than in the context of the show, at what point are you like, they're doing it again? The Thing. Or do you do that at all? Let us know. And we'll see you next time on the Dr. Z Show.
Adios.